Alright, so yeah, last time, Sakia finally showed up and dropped yet another plot bomb on us. And apparently she is Guido's sister. So yeah, let's see what happens now. Goodness gracious, this game doesn't want to settle down. It just keeps going and going and going and escalating. It's so quiet on this holy winter night that you can hear the sound of the snow falling on the ground. Everyone present freezes in dumbfounded surprise at the unexpected newcomer. One person's hands stop moving. One is struck with wonder, and one is honestly delighted. The silence is seemingly endless. She suddenly breaks the silence, acting as if she were sitting down to eat dinner. Yeah, where have you been? Because you eventually left that room, so... The sound of her voice breaks us free from the spell, bringing sense to the nonsensical. He has come back. I mean, she wasn't there when we went there that one time, and Sister Lily came and brought the bodyguards. Sakia explains how she came to be here, while simultaneously sensing somehow that the apocalypse had ended in failure. Everyone's attention centers on her. Sakia, can you please explain like what your whole thing was if Guido's the one that did all this? Like, what were you doing? Sakia continues talking to Guido about a word of greeting to the other girls, despite her absence. Their tea-to-tea seems strangely natural and intimate compared to their usual interactions. That's when they realize Sakia had said something a moment before that was too shocking to let slide. Yeah. Good question, Carrie. Good question. We're gonna need more than that, Sakia, please. They realize this is the first time they've ever heard a last name. Despite there being several siblings at St. Aria Academy, neither ever realized the two shared a family name. The familiar way she speaks to Guido, despite being several years younger, is more persuasive than anything she might have said. Yeah, apparently. Yeah, she was trying to stop you, buddy. There is a hint of affection buried beneath his curt request, so different from how he usually talks to underclassmen, but Sakia brushes it off. What she says and does next resonates far deeper with Kota and Kiri. He agrees, followed by a paradoxical statement. She says with firm conviction, never before, not even once. She sounded far surer of herself than if her belief was based on the relationship alone.
半端な芸術家のまま生きていくことなど俺にはできない。
どうして今後の人生まで決めつけているんです。兄さんらしくありません。自暴自棄ですよ、それは。
それでも一度手掛けた作品を完成させられなかった罪は消えない。俺はこの町の人間にとって許される存在ではない。
Wait, you think that's the sin? Alright, I say, goodness gracious. That's a sin to you, huh?
なんだ、分かってるんじゃないですか。皆さんのことが兄さんにとって大切だって。
それくらいはな。ただ犠牲にしようとしていたのは事実。
Okay, you're also counting that. Okay. I was kind of worried for a minute.
反省してください、それなら。きっと皆さんも兄さんに言いたいことが山ほどあるはずです。
He heaves an exhausted sigh. After being lectured into stopping after already having given up, seems to be at the end of his emotional rope.
ではなんだ。このままのうのうとこの町で生きろと。
いえ、それなら外で一緒に暮らしましょう。戻れる家はないかもしれませんが。
I mean, again, technically, you didn't actually do anything in this timeline, so, you still could.
ごめんだな。
Feeling a rift forming between himself and Sakia, he internally mourns the lack of a sympathetic ear. A world closed off from everything else. Isn't that what he's always been?
なすことも死ぬことも許されない。
Uh,
なら
Ito? What you doing? He drops the book and looks up at the sky. Yune and Kota have a brief moment of relief on seeing his exhaustion, as if he's given up on everything. It's only Sakia who knows what's about to happen, ringing the alarm bells like never before. At that moment, I can't let you do that. Hey, there he is, finally, Shu, jeez, like, the tension kept building and building, and I was worried that you weren't gonna show up. Hey, there's my boy. Is Yune there too? There's one other person who knows exactly what Guido is about to do. Starting everything over with every mistake. That's what the people here won't forgive you for. Sakia looks back over her shoulder. Standing there, breathing heavily, is Shu. I finally caught up to you. Guido and Kota are still facing each other. He watches from the sidelines while Sakia stands between them. I can feel the thoughts swirling around me amid the softly falling snowflakes.
Shu-kun.
Right, I'm here to the rescue, just like Rinka. Hey, did I make it in time? I actually don't know. We came to an agreement. More importantly, I faced Guido for the first time. He has a look on his face I've never seen before, and it scares me a little. Maybe you should have seen the other face when we got that one CG. You know what, Guido. You may not have realized it, but you ate a red apple once, which means you cannot wish for another chance. Sakia stares at the ground, seemingly heartbroken. She and I are the only ones who fully understand what's going on here. Yeah, he's the other one of Sakia's pair, huh? He really is just like Yune. He doesn't remember any of the other timelines. The Apple of Wisdom grants the ability to turn back time at the expense of one's memories. But surely... Guido, do you remember a conversation about the girl who jumped through time? Wait, then... What did he sacrifice? His Yune lost her voice. Did he lose his sanity? Is that what he lost? Neither you nor Yoji believed me at the time, but I swear it's the truth. I've stood in this exact spot on this exact date in December many times over. And there's one more thing. Something that neither Yune nor I ever saw coming. Guido, they're just like us. Also a time traveler. His immediate denial is understandable. Unlike when I tried to persuade Kiri and Kota, and unlike Sakia, Guido has absolutely no context. But... I'm right, aren't I, Sakia? He remains silent. I'd have trusted her if this final confrontation means no one but us knows what's really going on. She's the only one who understands exactly what I mean. A look of resignation crosses her face for the first time.
お察しの通り、私はシュウ先輩と同じ青リンゴを食べた身です。
Right. I thought so. That's why I've been able to change your actions just like me. And if Saki is here, then a fundamental partner must be as well.
兄、義堂が赤リンゴを食べた存在です。
I see. I first heard the two of them were siblings from Sister Lily herself. Has Saki been repeatedly reloading this time loop all by herself? Do the two of them work together like Yune and I have been? Or are they free to do what they want without regard to their respective apple? That was the only thing that remained a mystery to me. And yet the presence of Guido, the perpetrator, and Sakia's brother revealed the right answer. Yune controlled the flow of time, and I relived each loop. The relationship between Saki and Guido is exactly the same as between me and Yune.
シュウ先輩が本来起きる時間は今月の3日ですよね。
That's right. I ate the green apple the night of the 2nd and awoke on the 3rd.
私たちは去年の3日にリンゴを食べました。なので2017年の12月4日に私は何度も目覚めています。
Oh my jeez, that is a lot. December 3rd of last year, the day Sakia marked as a so-called save point. And since she's been living an entire year and a month within each repeated loop. Even if we went back the same number of times, her experience would always be 12 times longer than mine. Yep, and same goes for Guido then.
私たち以外にあのリンゴを食べる人が出てくるなんてことは正直想像もしていませんでした。
So, doesn't that mean though that we can also kind of probably do what we did with Yune, where we can have the Guido that most likely exists in the other subspace combined with this Guido, and then maybe he will remember? That might be really bad though. I feel like that'd be really traumatizing for him. But
そもそも発生するメカニズムも謎ですし、原理もよくわかりません。
I feel the same way. There are several common denominators, such as the date the apples appeared and how each pair was compromised of a man and a woman. That said, the exact conditions are still unclear. More importantly, it's fairly nonsensical how the start of the loop is a moment of consumption. It's something I have no logical explanation for. All I can get so far is the start of Admit triggers the save point, and Christmas triggers the reload ability.
ただ、そんな中でも確かだったことはありました。今月12月の3日を境に、シュウ先輩が急に変わったんです。
A sudden change. I know exactly what she means, of course.
今までと違うセリフ、今までと違う行動、私はとても驚きました。
All of her reactions have so much different context now. Like all those little things where she was like, oh, wait, what? We just thought it was because we were fupping up. I remember the first time I called out to her and how frazzled she appeared in response. Of course, she'd be frightened if a character suddenly starts ad-libbing the lines. Meanwhile, I was equally startled by her unscripted reaction.
それも最初は懐疑的でしたが、次第に確信へと変わっていきます。
Saki and Guido, as a pair, had created their own save point well before ours. That made it easy for her to notice any deviation from the normal pattern.
間違いなくシュウ先輩は分かってやってる。日が経つほどにそれは明らかでした。
I see.
だからこそ、私の方は気取られないように動きました。なるべく同じ言動をするようにして。
In fact, her unexpected reactions had never tipped me off to who she really was. Mainly because, from my perspective, any such deviations were entirely my fault. Yep. Same, man.
そして気づかれさえしなければ、私はシュウ先輩を監視することができました。多少コントロールすることも。
Dude, the amount of layers that this game has of all that is freaking crazy. My attempt at disposing of the Brookers and replacing them was a good example of this. In the beginning, I didn't bother to act discreetly in the slightest. It would have been easy enough for Saki to track my movements. However, does that mean I was an obstacle in your way? I see. That was a real question. The trigger for our time loop was the apocalypse. It would be bizarre if theirs was somehow different.
はい。兄の計画にとってシュウ先輩こそが邪魔でした。
Saki is adamant that I was the obvious nuisance. I'm the troublemaker.
シュウ先輩がいたから私たちのやり直しは始まりました。
Wait, yours did? What? Yeah. What do you mean your loop started because of us? The fuck? But I do. Saki makes it very clear that a trigger for reloading a save point was me. None of it makes sense of it. I repeat my question. But that doesn't make sense. Everything I've done until now has been one failure after another.
いえ、成功していたんですよ。本当は。
What do you mean? Yeah, hyphen. Until this time, I'd always failed to stop the apocalypse, but now I've finally succeeded. I know I'm definitely not wrong about that.
シュウ先輩は最初のアポカリプスを阻止し、それを許せなかった兄がリンゴの力を起動しました。それだけです。
Oh, you mean from when we were supposed to be the teacher? Oh. Well, that's what happened. Saki and Gita began their own time loop one cycle before ours. In that original timeline, we didn't find our apples or eat them.
そうです。先輩はうまくいっていました。憎らしいほど。
Oh, I'm sorry for not wanting chaos and destruction for everybody to die.
その後もアポカリプスはシュウ先輩の手によって幾度となく阻まれます。私もそれに応じて対抗策を考えます。決まっている運命を変えようとするのはとても難しいです。私たちが目的を阻まれ続けている間、まだシュウ先輩は自身がループに巻き込まれていることを知りません。ただこの町に入ってきた目的を遂行しているのみでした。
Of course you wouldn't have known. I still hadn't eaten the green apple yet back then.
より正確に言いましょう。
Oh.
私たちはこれで18回目です。
Yeah, see, goodness gracious. Huh?
そして最初から数えて7回目。アポカリプスは成功してしまいました。
Success of the apocalypse, or the destruction of the town. I've experienced that tragedy many times.
それだけではありません。私は兄さんに許可を取り、皆さんだけでも逃がすことのできる手はずを用意していました。
Alright. You did what? So that's why you were okay with that in your route when... Yeah, I see.
そして私は皆さんのもとへそれを伝えに行こうとしていました。
However...
でもですよ。気づけば私たちは12月の4日に戻っていたんです。去年の。それは少なくとも兄と私にとって望ましい結末だったはずなのに。
Yeah, that also really puts her route into a whole different context too, because when we like went back, then she started crying. That means that she knew that whole time. So wow, yeah. That adds a lot to that too. Again, the layers. I keep getting more and more impressed by like how like well constructed this game is. They'd returned to the previous save point despite not reloading themselves. Or at least, that's how Saki explains it. There's so many things that are like adding up together. Only a heartfelt prayer for another chance will trigger the supernatural power of both the apple and the tree. If what Saki says is true and they succeeded on the 7th try, then neither of them would have prayed for another chance. So then who did?
最初は事故かと思いましたので、私は前回と全く同じ方法、探り当てた成功パターン通りの動きをしました。同じ通りにやれば失敗はない。そう考えていましたが、違いました。私が全く同じ行動をしても、違う反応を見せた方がいます。
That was me. Our attempt at trying to find out who our enemy was led to them picking up on his scent even faster.
その年からシュウ先輩の行動に異変が生じたこと、それによって私は私たち以外のリセットを確信します。
Yune had unknowingly forced Saki to go flying back to her own save point from her metaphorical bow with each reset. With every reset, whether triggered by Yune or me, Saki was forcibly sent back to December 3rd of the previous year. In other words, she always had a decent head start on us every single time.
主にこういうことだと思います。尾を食らう蛇のように、私たちは異なる結末を求めて回り続ける。
Ah, like the Ouroboros. Saki and Gito's 7th Christmas overlapped with our first. And since then, we've relived the same loop 11 more times. Nelly. Until now, I'd wrongly assumed we were on a losing streak against our enemy, Sakia. But that was from my perspective. According to her, I'd actually been on a winning streak.
まだ不思議でしょうか。シュウ先輩はきっと兄の企てをまっとうに阻止した覚えはない。
Is that where the muse comes in?
いるんじゃないですか。
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were still talking. It's true. Although I'd tried to escape from the town several times, all I remember is any attempt at stopping the apocalypse was firmly rebuffed. And it's the same even now, if all my memories were stored. However...
では、こうお呼びすれば、あるいは引っかかるものもあるでしょうか。
Mr. Shu?
シュウ先生。
Let's see.
シュウ先生？
I mean, yeah, apparently. All those flashbacks.
ほら、シュウ先生、早くそっちに座って。
Fine, fine. I'm coming. No need to rush. It's a dream I've seen several times now. I've always seen it as some kind of hint or clue towards something important, although I never remembered the details until now.
ここにいる誰もあのことを覚えてはいませんが、私だけはしっかりと覚えています。
I knew it. That's the reason why you and your brother had to reset everything.
はい。シュウ先輩がシュウ先生であること、それがアポカリプスの失敗する最大の要因なんです。
So in other words, Gito, as a red apple, reset time to make sure I never became a teacher. While we've been trying to stop them, they've been coming up with ideas to stop us.
え、シュウは先生だったのかよ。
Yes, I was.
なんとなくでしか話せないのだけど、私は今年度から新しい先生が来るって噂を聞いたことがある。でも結局新しい先生が来なくて。
That was me. I was originally supposed to start in April, but...
シュウ先生は大変優秀なお方でした。音楽教師としての本分はもちろん、
Wait,
兄の計画を的確に妨げていました。
so they were about to hire a music teacher? Why'd that happen?
音楽教師？どういうことだよ、シュウ。
I wouldn't have been allowed in otherwise. Admission to the academy is usually only open to those who score high on the art aptitude test. Yeah, but I thought they didn't like music.
テスト？そんなんあったか？昔すぎて覚えていないだけですよ。物心つく前に外でセンスを認められた子供だけがこの町に入れるんです。
Sorry, Kiri, here you go.
テスト？そんなんあったか？外でだって？私も兄さんも先輩たちもみんなそう。この町には病院だって一つしかないんですから、ここに生を受けたなんてことはありえません。皆さんのご家族もまだオーロラの外にいるはずなんです。家族？マジかよ。シュウ先輩は異端なんです。本来この町で教育を受けるためには物心つく前からここに入っていなくてはならない。そのためにシュウ先輩は音楽という専攻を生かしてこの町に教師として入る道を見つけました。私たちと変わらない年でも。
Saki knew everything about me. Nothing she said has been factually wrong. After a lot of negotiating, I finally got permission to enter the town so I could stop the apocalypse. I've always been an amateur when it comes to art. Aside from my mastery in the officially recognized field of music.
私もそう聞いています。間違いはないはずです。
I knew my father, Suichi Radarase, was in charge of a very special school. If this story ended there, I probably wouldn't have cared that much. However, once his health began to go downhill, he started acting strangely. I don't want to die. I want to live, he'd cry out every day. And despite the debilitating weakness, his violent tendencies only increased. He'd gone mad. He sought out destruction, as if brainwashed. It was the final blow to the tenuous strings holding his neglected family life together. And then... After learning my father's plans, I decided to enter the town as a teacher to stop him. And as a result, I managed to successfully stop his plans and the apocalypse, only for the timeline to be reset. In other words, we're first to repeat the same loop because my success is Guido's failure. If he managed to stop the apocalypse, Guido resets time, and if he successfully brings it about, Yune does. It's an eternal loop that continues without end.
だから私のやることは明白でした。両者の妥協点を見つけること。
I guess that means you were never behind your brother's apocalyptic plan?
半分正解です。私にその意図はありませんでしたが、かといって兄さんのことは止められませんでした。それに私がどう止めたところで兄さんがそう祈る限りどうしようもありません。
I mean, yeah, I guess so, huh? Saka never wanted to bring about the apocalypse to this town. But until Guido realizes his apocalyptic dream, then he will never stop resetting time. And all he has to do is pray for it too, so like, yeah, I don't know how you would stop that. That said, as long as the apocalypse happens, then Yune won't stop doing it either.
2つのやり直しが形成されていると気づいた以上、両者が納得できるような結末を迎えなければいけません。
But he did say he was gonna give up now, though, so it should be good, right? He said he was gonna give up.
25日をきっかけにリセットが行われている以上、原因はアポカリプスと断定してほぼ間違いはないでしょう。死ぬのが嫌なのは誰だって当たり前です。ですが、シュウ先輩のようにアポカリプスそのものを阻止してしまっては兄の気が収まりません。兄さんはとても諦めの悪い人です。
Okay, well then, I might have an idea. Remember how I said, like, I could still be really traumatized for him, though, but, like, we could still try that, where we try and have the Guido, all the Guidos from the different timelines fused together, like how Yune did, and then he can maybe, like, draw the apocalypse from his memories of those timelines? Would that work? I know all too well. Guido is a pretty suave individual and never gives up, no matter what situation he finds himself in. Oh, that's right, it's a sore loser, right? Fuck. Man, I did not think that was gonna come back so hard, but it was just a funny little line. The fuck. And thanks to my father's influence, he seems as if he's lost his way as well. Thanks.
シュウ先輩は少なくともシュウ先生である限りいろんなことを知りすぎていました。
Thanks, Dad. I didn't remember any of that, but you did a good job summing it all up.
はい。と言っても、シュウ先輩が若いことには変わりないので、ほとんど今のような関係でしたが、ただ、この町において教師である以上は、その裏側を知ることができます。シュウ先生はすべての情報を把握して、兄さんの計画を握りつぶしました。
Coming here to stop the apocalypse was my objective from the start. But my success in stopping the apocalypse is what triggered Guido's initial reset.
何度か試行錯誤を重ねた結果、シュウ先生を無力化するパターンを見つけました。それが、シュウ先生を教師でなく学生として入学させることです。
So my admission to the academy is thanks to your repeated efforts?
はい。シュウ先輩がリンゴを食べたのも、おそらく先生でなく学生になったため起きた出来事なのでしょう。ですが、教師として入ってくるはずのシュウ先生をただお願いし しただけで生徒にできるはずはありません。なので私はシュウ先生をまずただのシュウさんにするために策を講じました。
I'm painfully aware of what she did next. The thing she gave me. Muse.
はい、外での記憶をまっさらにさせることです。そうでもしない限りシュウ先輩はあの手この手でアポカリプスを食い止めていました。そしてその度に兄も諦めない。
My amnesia allowed me to attend the academy as a student instead of a teacher. It also made me helpless to stop the apocalypse from swallowing the town.
アレイヤの生徒である限りはこの町の教育を受けます。外のことなんて何も教わらないまっさらなままのシュウ先輩でいられるのです。
She was always like watching too. She was like, because she was always with Yune and us. So like, dang, like I'm talking about the very first timeline, by the way. But yeah, it's like she was like always like watching us, and we tried to get our memories back. Of course, she was like playing off as jokes because that helps her case. Dang, man, all this different like all these different parties like playing into this is really interesting because like you got Sakia and Guido, then you got Kiri and Kota, and then you got eventually Shu and Yune after they eat the apples too. Meanwhile, my man Yoji just out here existing. I don't know why that's so funny to me, but it is. I see. I'd always taken for granted the assumption that I was the same as everyone else. However, I'd originally been admitted into the academy as a teacher.
そしてミューズをもってしても外での記憶を完全に取り除くのにかかる時間、それが304日という期間でした。
The day I woke up here in this town was exactly 304 days after January 7th. January 27th, not 7th, my bad. When I woke up in Yune's room, it was November 28th. See, she was always there.
ミューズは1回の服用で何もかも忘れるほどの強い作用はありません。ですが多量の摂取は危険。安全とはいえドラッグですから。シュウ先輩を無事なままで記憶喪失にさせるためには304日間という時間で少しずつ服用してもらう必要がありました。
So you're saying you kept me drugged over a period of 304 days, which I still don't remember? Maybe it's a good thing I forgot it. I have no idea what my quality of life was like, but even after taking the anti-muse, that period of time is still hazy. How much I remember and how much I've irrevocably forgotten. It's something only Sakia, who came up with this idea after multiple attempts, can answer. Hold on, if that's true, then why did you decide to remain hidden this time around? That's exactly what she said to me over the intercom of that hidden basement room. In fact, we only succeeded thanks to her not doing anything to stop us throughout the entire month. Bringing us to the most important question of all.
シュウ先輩。シュウ先輩が私の立場ならどんな理想を目指しますか？
Probably what you did this route, where you just don't do anything at all. If I were you...
兄さんは破壊に疲れていました。私が何度説得してもアポカリプスを止めようとはしません。私の無事だけは確保してくれると言いましたが、私だって他の大事な方たちを失いたくはありません。平行線です。ですがアポカリプスは何度失敗しても蘇ります。兄が諦めない限り、1年、2年、3年、やり直しを続けているうちに、私はそれを悟りました。兄を止めたと思っても、また最初からやり直しです。
Her situation is the opposite of mine. While Yune and I have been working together toward the same peaceful goal, there seems to be a deadly divergence separating the siblings. The more fanatical Guido, the root of the problem becomes, the more ashamed she grows.
赤リンゴを食べたのが兄である以上、私にリセットを止める方法はありません。兄が強く望めば、すぐに2017年へ戻ります。
I mean, yeah.
どうしたらいいのでしょう。私は頑張ってそれを考えました。
But I have one question about this, because Guido said he was gonna give up now. So does that, like, can he, like, do you have to pray to be able to reset the time, but does it, like, not matter if you do it consciously or not? Does it, like, does it work subconsciously? So even if he says he gives up and he's still, like she says, he still feels, like, stubborn about it, then it'll activate automatically based off of that? Or can he, like, consciously control it? That's what I'm curious about, because if you can't even consciously do it, then, yeah, that's a big yikes.
兄の計画を果たして、でも先輩たちも納得できるような未来。この街は壊れるけれど、私の好きな街のみんなは脱出することができる。私が求めたのはそんな世界でした。
It's at that moment I realized something. Our ideal solution is exactly how one of our timelines ended. Yep, Noah's Ark.
皆さんだけを逃がすというのは、シュウ先輩のリセットによって失敗しました。でも今度こそ会って。
Big goof right there. Yeah, like I said before, that put so much more context into that, to that Saki ending. Unelli.
私や皆さんだけじゃない、街の誰もがオーロラを越えて抜け出せる、そんな未来があったんです。
I'm sorry, I didn't know it was safe. I'm sorry.
いいわけありません。
I'm sorry.
ですが、仕方のないことですから。昨夜は先輩と一緒に生きていられるなら、それ以上は望みません。隣に先輩がいてくれるなら、どんな壁だって乗り越えられるって信じてますから。
Game, please.
叶えたはずなんです。一度は。
Her usually emotionless voice trembles slightly.
できることをしました。あれで終わると思っていました。でも終わらなかった。
Oh, game, please stop. I'm sorry, I didn't know. I was unsure back then.
シャオ先輩はどうして私が今日まで隠れてたのかって聞きましたよね。
It's okay, you don't have to answer anymore. Yeah.
私は知りたかったんです。先輩がどうしたいのか。
What do you mean? I don't have the timeline powers anymore. We didn't eat the apples this time.
今ここで全部お話ししているのもそうです。先輩が本当に望んでいるのは何か、私にはわからないから。私たちの掴んだ未来で納得できなかったから、先輩はそこにいるんですよね。
I didn't know. She sounds fed up. Her harsh tone, criticizing my actions, is a far cry from the lighthearted jokes she usually makes.
私なんかと一緒に街を出るんじゃ全然満足できないから、先輩はやり直してるんですよね。
Sakia.
私じゃ嫌だから、私と一緒にいても幸せじゃないから。
No.
なのじゃ終われないんですよね。
That's not what I said. I just didn't know what would happen. Is she angry or sad? The expression on her face seems to contain a mixture of both. Her voice is so quiet that it's almost drowned out by the wind, and yet she struggles desperately to be heard.
私がそばにいたって何の得にもならないですもん。
I didn't say that. That's not true. I just...
嘘です。 それならどうしてあの時に終わってくれなかったんですか？
Because I didn't have all this context back then. Could have left town with Sakia. That day I rediscovered the hole in the Aurora I'd initially come through and rebuilt those arcs. Right, she must be talking about the Aurora's Achilles heel. It was Sakia herself who started that rumor and who brought it to my attention. Her idea succeeded in a way. It allowed us to survive without any casualties at the expense of the town itself. However, if we go through with this, can I actually say I've saved the town? There was really nothing else I could have done? That wasn't the way I wanted it to end. That was all that remained in my reality, which is why we're standing here on this holy night.
嘘つき。嘘つき。先輩はずるいです。いつも。
I'm sorry. Sakia. Seeing her trembling all over, I just want to hug her. And yet, I can feel her hatred for me seeping from her skin, the emotion almost palpable.
先輩は覚えてなんかいませんもんね。
Now I remember all that. Remember? That's when I realized. The white snow piled up around her feet is quickly melting in the slush.
私がどれだけ先輩と一緒にいたかなんて。先輩がどれだけ私と一緒にいたかなんて覚えてるはずないですもんね。
Were we like childhood friends too? Is that what you mean? Tears poured down her cheeks, as if she could no longer hold back her overflowing emotions. You mean the time before I woke up in Yune's room?
そうです。でも当たり前ですよ。私がそのことも忘れてもらったんですから。
Sakia intentionally made me forget about the 304 days we spent together. And she's crying because of how cruel that is. Oh, okay. It seems like a contradiction, yet the sincerity in her demeanor proves how much she truly means it. She struggled with all of her might to speak, holding her tears at bay. Her fervent plea lacks reason, instead resonating directly with my heart. And then...
昨夜はきっと優しい子なんだね。
Why do you talk about yourself in third person now? Huh? The hell? The moment I hear those words...
知らない事情があるなら聞かせてほしいよ。
Oh, is this what we said to you? This is...
全部先輩が私にくれた言葉です。私は全部覚えています。外のことは忘れてもらいましたけど、ことが済めば元に戻すつもりでした。でも
Apparently, she had intended to dose me with the anti-mist she kept for after Christmas was over. Unfortunately...
シュウ先輩がこの町に入って再び目覚めるまで、私はそれを決して開けられないパンドラの箱に秘めました。
Everything she's telling me I've long since forgotten and only she remembers. Such is the effect of my memory after being dosed with muse for 304 days.
許されないことだというのは分かっています。でもそれだけはずっと思い出してほしくなかった。忘れたままでいてほしかったんです。先輩がこのことを思い出したら嫌われちゃうから。
Because I'll hate her. The racked of grief, she was practically hyperventilating. I almost couldn't choke the word out.
でも嫌です。嫌なんです。このまま何も知らないままの先輩と別れるのは。もうどんなに嫌われてもいいから全部溜め込むのは辛いんです。
Sakia, I call a name, and in response, she looks me straight in the eyes.
シュウさん
And then, there's the magic words that release my locked away memories from her Pandora's box.
最後に約束守れなくてごめんなさい
Okay, hello? The moment I hear those words, we get our memories back. It's like I can hear the sound of something shattering somewhere in my brain. I've forgotten a period of time I never knew existed. And the memories of my youth that Saki had locked away. That final barrier leading to my most important memories that I needed in order to turn from Shu back to Shu Radarase. Hello? Okay, January 27th. By the way, I like how during that whole time, Kiri, Coach, and Gita were just there watching us do that. So, like, is Gito cool now, or like, hello?
ください
Because he was about to blow himself up. Is that settled? Hmm.
起きてくださいシュウさん
Oh. Oh, dude. I completely forgot all about that when we got that one really blurry CG. I forgot about that so much, dude. I was like, at first I was wondering, like, when I thought it was gonna be in Saki's about, like, we were gonna see, like, it not blurred out. I completely forgot all about this. Goodness gracious. So that's what that was about, huh? Who are you?
私はサクヤと言いますシュウさんの一つ下の可愛い後輩です
Bruh. Classmate? Sorry, none of this makes sense.
無理もないですね起きたばかりですから
Just woke up. Right. She's the angelic looking girl from the lake. Ow. Everything still hurts. Okay, I kind of remember that. I collapsed out of Netto and then...
無理やりオンネトを渡ろうとするからですよ一応手当てはしておきましたけど
Ow. Oh, you really did that? For me?
サクヤ
Huh?
君じゃなくてサクヤです
Okay, hello, Saki. Saku's been that way ever since the first time we met. Since I hadn't received a dose of muse yet, I still remembered my purpose in coming here. Sakia, could you take me outside? I'm assuming this is your room, right? I had no idea where I was other than inside. But since my goal was St. Aria Academy, that's where I knew I needed to get to. Unfortunately...
ダメです
Why? She said I was prohibited from leaving. Of course I argued with her.
シュウさんは大怪我をしていますこんな状態で外に出てはまた怪我をします
Gravely wounded? I don't feel that bad. Look, I can clearly move around without trouble. Okay. Ow, ow, ow! Why would you hit an injured man?
ほら大怪我です
Woman? Only because you hit me.
で怪我は怪我です外は危険がいっぱい
It was clear she was reluctant to let me leave her room. After a brief back and forth, I was the first to fold and decided to give it a break. But I came here to teach at the academy as a music professor.
そんな若い先生なんていません
I am a prodigy. That may be true, but it was the only way I could get myself into the St. Aria Academy. Even after hearing my exclamation, she continued to refer to herself as my classmate. A day passed, and then another, and still she refused to let me leave. There were no windows at all, which led me to believe we were in a basement room. Although I had no complaints about my food or water situation, I still couldn't lose sight of why I came here in the first place. Hey, I think I'm finally all better.
治ってませんほら右の乳首が丸出しです
Ah, there's a Mona nipple. Been a bit. Because my shirt's ripped.
しょうがないですねでもちょうどシュウさん用の服ができたところなんですよ
What do you mean, finished?
はい作っておきました
She gave me 2 outfits I could wear inside her room. The most surprising thing of all was how perfectly they fit me. You made these? For me?
はいでも外は極寒ですからねこんな薄着で出たが最後シュウさんはカチンコチンになってしまいます
I'm pretty sure I was wrapped in a blanket.
ほ
Okay, icicle it is. You didn't try to hide or hurt feelings. It was obvious that you didn't want me to leave. But...
それじゃあ私は学校に行ってきますからいい子にしててくださいね。
What am I, a pet? I should have been grateful considering she'd given me a roof over my head, clothing, and food, despite my arriving here basically destitute. This seemed excessive. Not to mention we were a man and a woman, living together under one roof. February 4th, Sunday. A week passed in that way. That's when I first noticed something weird. Huh?
どうしましたシュウさん。
It's nothing. I think... What was it again? I can't remember. I had a feeling like I'd forgotten something, but I couldn't remember what it was. Like when you reach for a dictionary and then forget what you wanted to look up. Do you have any idea what it might be?
知らないですよ。シュウさんが何を考えていたかなんて。
Guess you're right. That was when I forgot that I had to get to the academy. I still remembered most of my life in the outside world, but my memories regarding my position as a professor at St. Aria were gone. I felt as if there was something important I needed to do.
そういえば、シュウさんはセロリが嫌いだから出さないでほしいと言ってました。
Okay, did you not hear what I just said? I don't think that was it. Saki didn't act as if I was behaving any different than usual, so I shrugged it off and continued living my life. Our relationship was built on sharing a room together and engaging in small talk. It must have been at the 2-week mark, when I found myself losing my memories again. What the heck? I feel like I forgot something else. Despite the occasional boredom, living together with Saki was pretty fun. However, I felt anxiety building up inside of me at the same time. I was afraid my indulgence in this carefree life would lead me to lose track of the passage of time, much like the infamous Tara Urashima.
気のせいですよ。それよりシュウさん、今日はボードゲームをしませんか？
You got life? Board game? Sure, I guess. She was always there to keep me company, and we often played games together. Part of me constantly worried over whether I was doing the right thing, but seeing Saki's happy face always made me forget about it all. My situation at the time made me feel almost dependent on her. But it seemed to be what she wanted, so I resigned myself to my fate and went along with it. Hey, Valentine's Day! Eventually, I fell into a routine where I'd sleep while Saki was off at school. Since we were almost always together, we talked a lot about many things. We discussed our hobbies, sports, clothes, and art. We shared stories from our past, or at least from what I could remember of mine, about incidents that shaped us. She would sometimes tell me stories about her school, and I remember smiling whenever she'd tell me about her teacher, the old witch who scared her. Considering the lack of other people, I'm surprised we never ran out of things to talk about. Throughout it all, there was one thing Saki would always ask me.
シュウさんの理想ってどんな人ですか？
Didn't I tell you already?
そうですけど、忘れちゃったのでもう一度です。
If I had to describe the most perfect person, I knew from experience that Saki wouldn't believe me if I told her I was some suave guy. Not really having a good answer, I might have found myself stumped.
シュウさんは好きな人とかいらっしゃらなかったんですか？
I see you're getting really blunt with it now, huh? I don't think so.
思うって何ですか？
Just what I said. My memories of my past feel really hazy lately.
そうですか。
You changed the angle of a question slightly. I wouldn't drop it until I gave her a proper answer.
やっぱりシュウさんはスケベですから、スケベな女性が好きなんです。
Sakia, please. Knock it off. That's not true at all. To begin with, I'm not a perv.
胸の大きい人とか。
Well, they're pretty nice. Sakia's face seemed to light up a little. But girls with smaller breasts are fine too. What? You asked. She looked slightly unimpressed at that.
一旦で男子みたいにやかましいツンスクリーンの女子の方がいいですか？
I mean, Kira's pretty awesome, but you know, Yune's still the favorite. I didn't say that, but... Wait, did you talk about someone specific? Although I have a good guess now, at the time, I didn't know anyone other than Sakia. Well, I prefer girly girls over tomboyish ones, I guess. She discreetly did a fist bump. Don't think I didn't notice. Lol. Sakia? Sakia seemed depressed, so I spoke up and attempted to comfort her. You're a great cook and a sweet girl. Get so excited, dude.
いや、じゃあこれは仮に、もし仮にですけど。
You stammered over the word hypothetically 5 more times before continuing.
昨夜のことはどう思ってますか?
It was both a simple and complicated question. Overthinking might end up causing more harm than good, so I answered honestly. Sure, I like you, Sakia, but... You did hear the but, right? She bears her flame red cheeks in her hands. I have a feeling she got the wrong idea.
大丈夫です。
Okay. What?
シュウさんは男女の意味でそう言っているのではない。昨夜はちゃんと分かっています。
Okay. Okay. Right. It seemed as if the misunderstanding had been cleared up in that moment. Knowing what I do now, it's very possible that conversation we shared was one she practiced multiple times before. February 22nd, Thursday. As the memories from the outside world began to fade, so did the wounds in my body. Sakia! Look! All my pain is gone!
よかったです。スケベなお妻も治りましたか?
No, that's still there in the back. I never had one to begin with. I thanked you for taking care of me, saying it wasn't necessary any longer. I figured the next logical step was leaving. Although I'd long since forgotten about teaching at the academy here, it was only natural I'd want to get out. However...
ダメです。前にも言った通り、外は危険がいっぱいなんです。
You're not going anywhere. Oh no. Huh? Yeah, but you go to school every day. Savannah, right?
私は強いからいいんです。
Okay, Sakia. Is that so? I shot her a suspicious look and she puffed out her cheeks in annoyance.
無敵なんです。どんな暴漢が来ても一撃でのします。
Lies. So then you can protect me.
そうは言いますが。出てどうするんですか? 泊まるところなんてないですよ。
Well, I'd already forgotten the word town by this point. I had no idea what existed outside of this room, and a part of me wanted to dispel that anxiety.
この部屋を一歩でも出れば、もうソドムと言われる荒野なんですよ。
What?
シュウさんなんて魔物にあってすぐ食べられちゃいます。
What do you mean? Really? I didn't believe her for 1 second, but she made it clear that she was very worried about my safety. She did go out of her way to take care of me until my injuries healed, so I figured it'd be best to simply do what she said for the time being.
それに、ずっとじゃありません。もう少しでここから出ても平気になるので。
After a few more drugs. Okay. I still had a lot of questions, but if she said I had to stay put for now, then that's what I would do. Little did I know, I still had several months to go. All the drugs in a bloodstream. All the drugs. March 2nd, Friday. My forgiveness just kept getting worse and worse as time passed. I'm sure Sakia was well aware of what was going on, but she feigned ignorance. I continued eating the food she served me every day, and considering we slept and ate together, she had plenty of opportunities to dose me with muse.
今日はシュウさんの好きなロールキャベツですよ。
Oh, yum! You remembered.
シュウさんのリアクションはすべて頭に入っていますからね。
Well, one of us has to remember. She cooks me food every single day and has never heard a single complaint from me. I remember an odd sense of nostalgia when I ate cabbage rolls in the cafeteria once. Likely because they were my favorite dish of hers. Though it's a bit weird to think of Sakia's food as home cooking. Instead of toothpicks, you use noodles to tie each cabbage roll together.
それなら食べきれますからね。生活の知恵です。
You'll make a great wife someday, Sakia. Oh, jeez. Everything tastes great, like always.
そういう意味ですね。
Lol.
急に初めてのセリフを言わないでください。このスケベ先輩バカ。
Well, I have to. It's like the standard. Huh? What was that? Our pseudo-married life continued day after day. Our pseudo-married life. Still drugging us, though. Staying there with Sakia felt so natural that I'd lost any desire to leave. That said, my memories are from one of her more successful timelines. She's gone through the same loop so many times that some must have ended in failure. I might have forced my way out and escaped. Oh, that's actually really interesting. That yeah, like how many different ways that could have gone. Huh. But that year, Sakia managed to keep me under control. And once you find the pattern of success, all you need to do is repeat it. Which reminds me of another incident.
シュウさん。
Hmm? What's up?
シュウさんって私が学校に行ってる間何をしてます？
Probably just lay here and wait. Let's see. I play piano, I watch movies, sometimes I make origami. Oh, okay. Feeling like a lazy piece of trash after saying it out loud, I quickly added laundry to that list. Man, I think we have the right to be a lazy piece of trash considering why she's doing all this. Just saying. I think we have the right. But I got the impression she had hope for a different answer.
何をしていませんか？
Anything like what?
なんか最近お部屋が少し匂うなって。
It just adds character. Huh? I broke out into the biggest cold sweat I'd experienced during my time there.
それになんか私の脱いだ下着の位置が変わってるなとか。
I was organizing it. Oh, that. I noticed they were dumped in a pile, so I folded them after washing them.
その時に
It's nothing. Forget about it.
本当ですか？
I am a pure man. After she relentlessly blocked off every avenue of escape, I was finally forced to confess. Basically, I jerked myself off all alone in a room. Okay, so we're admitting it. Got it.
ほら、やっぱりシュウさんはスケベじゃないですか。
I am a pure man. Look, it builds up, and my shorts were a mess every time I woke up, so I had to do something.
この部屋にしかいないはずのシュウさんが浴場するなんておかしいですね。
Listen.
おかしいですよね。何をおかずにしていたんでしょうか？
You have a very nice wall. Oh, look at the time. Good night.
これでシュウさんのスケベが証明されました。やーい。
Unable to look her in the face, I escaped deeper into the bed sheets. Remember, she sounded really happy for some reason. Yeah, for some reason. Wonder why. Flip it, Adar, dude. March 17th, Saturday. When you're locked in a room, the days blend into each other, and you lose your sense of time. Sakura sometimes tell me what happened at school as if out of concern.
卒業式の前にクラスで発表会が開かれるので、私も何か作品を作らなければならないのです。
Oh, good luck.
ですが、服はダメと言われてしまいました。どうしましょう？
So it's a creative assignment? They make all of your clothes by hand, don't you?
卒業して上に進めば認められるみたいなのですが、チベッタだと絵か彫刻に限定されてしまうのです。
That sucks. But you're really good at painting too. I'm sure you do well.
本当ですか？それならシュウさんを描いちゃおうかな。
You're not gonna do a kota on me, are you? That's a little too embarrassing. Plus, no one knows who I
誰
am.
だかわからない方がミステリアスです。シュウさんはモナリザになるのです。
Okay.
というわけで、この衣装を着てポージングしてください。
The hell? Isn't it a little risque?
古代ギリシャの服をイメージして作りました。ささあ、脱いで脱いで。
I gotta see. Don't be so pushy.
ああ、シュウさん、背中にほくろがありますね。
Do I? I never noticed.
そうそう。そうやってポーズして。
And that's how I was whipped into being Sakia's model. Looking back, she went out of her way to explain everything without mentioning the Academy's name. Oh, June 13th, Wednesday. Now we're in summertime, I see. Can't believe she did all this for almost a whole year, dude. Hey, Sakia.
なんでしょうか、シュウさん。
I made this for you. Oh.
これは
Dude, everything is coming back. Literally everything is coming back. It's crazy, but I love it. I made it out of old juice bottle corks. It's not as good as your art, of course.
いえ嬉しいです。もらっていいんですか？
As long as you don't hate it. It's supposed to be a coproker.
かわいいです。シオさんが私に何かを作ってくれるなんて、昨夜は感激です。
Come on, that's a bit much.
はい、ちょっと待ってくださいね。
Hmm? You quickly took out a new bottle of grape juice before immediately opening it.
それで、こうして、こうで。じゃーん、できました。私のコロポックルちゃんです。
Oh, nice. It's very cute. I love the bow. Cute. Very girly.
ですです。これで寂しくありませんね。
Is she gonna drug him too, though? Thinking back, that must have been the first time I made her a coproker. She looked so happy when I gave it to her, and I deeply regret forgetting that heartfelt smile. August 7th. Tuesday. Everything must come to an end someday, and I was steadily nearing my own limits. Sakia?
どうしましたか、シュウさん。
Oop, my bad, my finger twitched. How do I put this? I feel like I'm losing more of my mind every day. I've forgotten memories. I've lost knowledge. At the time, I chalked it up to some cognitive illness, despite the fact that I've recovered physically. I can barely remember my own family's names. If this continues, then I won't be able to remember anything at all. I'm scared.
シュウさん。
It was the first time I admitted my fear to her. Even now, it pains me to try and imagine how Saki must have felt hearing me say that.
今日も美味しいご飯を作りますから、一緒に休みましょう。シオさん、きっとまた思い出せる日が来ますから。
Sakia. Thinking back, I remember the look of anguish on her face as she spoke.
ごめんなさい。いつか必ず元に戻しますから。それまで。
The void left by my lost memories is told of Sakia, whose presence in my life grew larger. The real issue at the time was that I had no guarantee I could continue living without her. October 26th, Friday. Just a month before November. What's for dinner tonight,
今
Sakia?
日は味噌ラーメンに挑戦してみました。お口に合うかどうかわかりませんが。
I'm sure I will, since everything you make is delicious. Eventually, I learned to embrace my new life without complaint. I just spent every day with her in the same room. And for the most part, nothing changed. Except for what we talked about and who won at chess. In other words, I was in the perfect mindset to forget everything about the outside world. Wait, I just realized. The chess thing. Man, they just kind of glossed over that because like, I just put that together too. The chess, because she's Guido's sister. Guido said Sakia was surprisingly good at chess. Man, even more things, dude. It's so good, dude. Even like that little thing. Just for the people who don't question what lies outside the war, my very existence was defined by a space so much smaller than the town itself. Sakia?
いえ、何でもありません。
This was the result of being drugged with muse for so long. A person named Shu, who had no knowledge of the outside world, was born in that room. And before long, it was finally time.
外はすっかり寒くなってきましたよ。
The time finally came for me to leave the nest. It was just before the start of Advent. November 27th, Tuesday.
シオさん、こ ちらへ。
Oh, not in black and white anymore. What's wrong, Sakia? I could tell something was up from the weird way she was acting. Knowing Sakia as well as I did at that point, her change in behavior was obvious. But I still trusted her without a doubt. What's that?
これはお薬です。シュウさんの物忘れを治すための。
Really? I took the piece of paper without question. In retrospect, that was probably the last dose of muse she gave me. Sakia? Why are you crying?
いえ、そんなことはないです。
As she held the muse out to me, she seemed to be wrestling with some unbearable pressure. At the time, having adapted to a world that was far too small, I didn't realize anything was wrong. Do I eat this or lick it?
舌に乗せてください。こうして。
Her gaze was affectionate yet distant, as if she were lost in thought, and yet I still didn't hesitate. With that, I took my final dose of muse. Oh, there's a blurriness. Wait, what? Everything was blurry. Noticing the change coming over me, she began speaking, as if in resignation of the inevitable.
今の薬は今までのものとは違う旧式のものです。これまでに使っていたミューズと違い、解毒剤がありません。
Sakia? Knowing her as well as I did, I could sense another dramatic shift in her demeanor. Unfortunately, it wasn't long after taking the medicine before I felt myself losing consciousness.
これでシュウさんは私のことも忘れて正しい生活に戻れます。
Forget. The ward forcibly pulled me back from the brink. Don't leave me. Forget? Wait, what do you mean?
言葉通りの意味です。シュウさんがここに来て304日間、私と過ごしてきた日々のこと。
To this new person named Shu. Those 304 days were his entire life. What are you talking about? Saka.
楽にしていてください。すぐに寝られます。
Saka. Yeah.
今までずっと束縛してごめんなさい。私にはこうする方法しか見つかりませんでした。シュウ先生は優秀でしたから、兄はいつも止めてくれていました。でも、それじゃダメなんです。
I struggled against the sensation of falling. I desperately clung to my rapidly fading consciousness, listening to Sakia's words.
シュウさんなら生徒としてもみんなを救ってくれると信じています。私の立場で言えたことではありませんが。
Sakia, you.
シュウさん、あなたは湖で倒れているとユネという銀髪の女性が歌っているのを目撃します。
Oh, you the one who said that? Sakia planted a suggestion into my brain for when I wake up. There was no deviating from the path after that.
気絶して目覚めると、あなたはその女性の部屋にいます。また、あなたは外から来た存在なので、この町のことを知りません。
Yep, so that was you. Dude, I thought that was us talking to ourselves from the future. That was Sakia all this time. Guess that makes sense when she says don't resist your preordained fate. Pre-imprinted perceptions. As long as I forget everything, it won't work as definitive script. But awards would remain planted deep in my memories.
そこではもしかすると、サクヤという名前の女性に出会うかもしれませんが、初対面です。その後、あなたは聖アレイヤ学院に2年生として転入します。ユネという女性と同じリンゴ組です。外の記憶をなくしたあなたは異なる文化に戸惑いながらも転入生とし しい生活を過ごします。楽しい、そう、明るくて楽しい生活を永遠に続いてほしいと思うくらいの。
I have to fight it. Any further resistance I can muster evaporated under the effects of the muse that I had taken myself. And yet, I hate this. I could forget everything in my life. There is a line that Shu, as a person, refuses to cross. But I refuse to forget about you, Sakia. Just then, the light in Sakia's eyes flickered. Sakia,
ダメです。ダメなんです。忘れてもらわないと。
What do you mean, forget? Why are you crying despite trying to convince me otherwise? Why do you look so stricken with grief, more miserable than I've ever seen you? Sakia, Sakia, Sakia. The name of the woman I must never forget.
今こうしていることも目覚めたらシュウさんは覚えていられません。だから
Please. You said what was tantamount to a final farewell.
私が本当の意味で素直になれるのは今しかないので聞いてほしいです。
Her affectionate gaze, a patience that went far beyond her years, a smile as pure as a Virgin Mary.
シュウさん
She called my name.
好きです。大好きです。あなたと過ごした日々は私にとってかけがえのない宝物でした。なんだか陳腐な表現しかできませんね。言葉にするのって難しいです。
A forced smile. Glistening tears fell from her eyes, dropping onto my cheeks like tiny jewels as I lay there.
シュウさんが好きだったものも嫌いだったものもそうでないものも昨夜は全部覚えています。決して忘れません。シュウさんはとっても素敵な人です。数えきれないくらいの魅力をこの1年で発見しました。シュウさんは私のことなんて忘れてください。私なんかが独り占めしていい人じゃありませんから。
I don't want to forget about you, and I don't care if you keep me all for yourself. I instinctively understood something then. Once I slipped into unconsciousness, I would forget everything from that moment.
ありがとうございます。でも私はシュウさんに許されないことをしました。だからシュウさんも私に命じてください。なんだって聞きます。もう会いたくないならそう言ってほしいです。死ねと言うならシュウさんを生かしてから死にます。
I never want that. With the last of my strength, I clung desperately to consciousness as I cried out. Don't go! All I want is for you to not leave me.
ありがとうございます。そう言ってもらえるだけで昨夜は本当に嬉しいです。
If that was true, then why was she crying? I hated myself for not being able to say something that simple.
約束します。私、昨夜はずっとシュウさんのそばにいます。私、もうこれ言うのも何度目かわからないのに、まだうまく言えなくて。約束します。私、昨夜は ずっとシュウさんのそばにいます。離れません。
She shut her lips tight as if trying to keep her sobs at bay. Her expression of forced resolution looked agonizing, even from my half-conscious vision.
さようなら。ミューズの女神は幻覚を見せる薬ですから。この304日間もきっと幻のようなものなんです。皆さんを救うのに必要だった幻。
Even her face was growing hazy and dreamlike. It was almost time to say goodbye. No, I don't understand. Why? How can I move my body? How can I do anything when Saki looks so sad?
また会えます。もうこんな形じゃなく。
I was on the brink of unconsciousness. She gently covered my eyes with her hand.
その時はきっと先輩って呼んでみせますから。
The last thing I remember is the faint touch of her trembling lips against mine. Oh. Oh God. I remember everything. The fog covering my memories finally lifts. This dreamlike bond we shared every single time we prayed for a reset. Oh. Let's see, the title song. The girl in front of me is crying harder than when we said goodbye. I was legit about to ask what song this is.
ごめんなさい、シュウ先輩。ずっと閉じ込めて全部忘れさせたりもして、自分勝手なことをしてごめんなさい。
The air around us vibrates with force of all of her pent-up emotions. The left hand clawing at her chest and the look of pure suffering on her face, as if she might break at any moment. A storm of emotions raging within her paint a multi-pattern of grief. After all those resets, I feel like I'm finally being reunited with Sakia for the first time. You have nothing to apologize for. You did what you had to in order to save us. She was only able to control both Gita and myself and forced me to forget everything. It was the only solution she could think of, which is why I can't bring myself to blame her.
そんなことないです。もしかしたら他にもやり方はあったかもしれないのに。私はシュウ先輩と二人きりで過ごしたくてあんなことをしていたんです。最低なんです。
Oh no, don't say that. You're not worthless trash. People make mistakes. It's okay. Don't say that, please. Trash? Yeah, that's really harsh, goodness gracious. I couldn't agree less. I know as well as she does how difficult it is to change the course of fate. Anyone would grow desperate after being forced to relive the same year-long time loop with seemingly no end in sight. Yeah, that's true, like or saying, like, a month is one thing, a whole freaking year, yeah. That is a lot. On top of that, if two opposed groups having the ability to reset time, it's a miracle we somehow didn't end up splitting off into two paradoxical realities. But more importantly, I'm really glad I got to share that time with you, Sakia. I feel that very strongly. If I hadn't made it until today, I may not have been able to remember my past. Jeez, goodness gracious, this gave me a tear up. And I know I would never have wanted that. You once told me that you treasured every day we spent together. And I feel the same way. I know the lengths you went to look out for me, so I couldn't. No, so I wouldn't leave. Oh. Of course, I'm only realizing the reasons behind her actions now. Saki did the best she could have for limited resources, and everything she did was with me in mind. Why would I be angry?
古いです。嫌いです。大嫌いです。シュウ先輩のことなんか。
I guess I'll have to live with that. Even so, Zack and I were the only two on this side of the Aurora. No, in the world, with the same goal. But sticking close to our partners, Yune and Guido, but our paths only crossed once.
いつもそうです。先輩は優しくて温かくて、ずっと束縛する私にうんざりしてたはずなのに、いつも笑ってくれて、私の料理も美味しいって言ってくれて、どうしてそんなに先輩は先輩なんですか？スケベなくせに、下手なくせに。
He cries out. A collection of raw emotions that have been building up over the past years of resets comes pouring out.
好きになっちゃうんです。仕方ないじゃないですか。何度やっても一緒にいたら、いくらだって先輩は私のことを夢中にさせて、先生だって先輩だってそうです。先輩は先輩じゃなくたって素敵すぎるから。何度も惚れさせられて、でもその分だけ別れなくちゃいけないなんてひどすぎます。嫌いです。先輩も先輩しか好きになれない私も全部。
The emotion she was forced to hide for so long and built up. There have been times I sensed a deeper meaning behind her actions, but that was simply her attempt at trying her best. I truly love Saki the way she is now. Not the girl who always diligently watched over me with a faint smile, but this girl is letting her youthful emotions bare.
先輩がやり直すたびに、私は先輩と過ごさなくちゃいけなかった。もっと好きになっちゃうことなんて分かってるのに。
She relived that interval dozens of times. Once it was established that chain of events led to success, she had no choice. While I didn't remember anything that happened during that time period, not only was Sakia forced to repeat those 304 days many times over, but she remembered every detail. Sakia struggles to finish speaking, her soft voice ready to give out at any moment.
こんなに何度も繰り返してるのに、どうして私は同じ人しか好きになれないんですか？先輩が悪いんです。全部優しすぎてかっこよすぎて温かすぎるから。
Her next words answer any remaining questions I might have had. A genuine, heartfelt prayer from deep in her soul.
どうして学校に通わせてくれたのかなんて、そんなの先輩と普通の恋をしたかったからに決まってるじゃないですか。
Not two people locked in a room, just two classmates meeting at school.
振り向いてほしいです。頑張ってほしいです。昨夜はわがままなんです。スケベな先輩のことがこの世の何より好きなんです。
Each word sounds like it's being forced out straight from her heart. Her right breath scatters the falling snowflakes like heated emotions dispersing in the cold air.
兄と先輩の間を取るためにこんな方法を取ったって言いましたけど、本当は先輩と結ばれたらいいなってずっと思ってました。そんなの先輩からしたら迷惑なのに。自分勝手でわがままで、昨夜はずっとダメな子なんです。
Oh no, that's not true. Don't say that. She cries out like she's being crushed under the weight of her own grief. Yeah, it seems like she actually really is. All I want is to draw her close and comfort her. I can't do that yet, because I can tell there's still another emotion she needs to vent. Her rage.
一回だけ私はそれを叶えたんです。
I'm sorry. Please don't show it again. Okay, or show it again.
先輩の隣で先輩と並んで他の皆さんも無事で兄もきっと満足して。
This game really wants to guilt trip me about that, doesn't it? A future we once shared. We built our own version of Noah's Ark to carry everyone to safety through a hole in the Aurora. That could pave the way for our escape.
うまくいったって思ったのに。
And still, that holy night didn't come to an end. We're here today, forcing us to face an undeniable fact.
でもそうですよね。あのままじゃこの街はなくなっちゃいますし納得なんてできませんよね。
She mutters under her breath, as if reasoning with herself. Although it's hard to tell who in the situation wasn't good enough for.
でも分かってるのにどうしてあの時に終わってくれなかったんですか。
She cries out in uncharacteristic rage. All this is my fault, and I have to accept it. I wish I'd come true once. Then I wouldn't reset time, undoing all the effort you put in. She's right about why, too.
私はこんなに先輩のことが好きなのに先輩は私のことなんてどうでもいいんだ。悔しいですよ私。バカみたいです。先輩は悪くないって分かってるのに。
The torrent of her unstoppable longing, which she'd held deep inside herself over multiple timelines, is strong enough to break even her soul. The reason why I couldn't let it end there is because I still hadn't discovered the truth. It'd be easy enough to say that, but I know she doesn't want my half-baked excuses. Because nothing about this is logical. The only thing I can do now is... Sakuya? Kiss her, don't kiss her. Okay, I see. Okay, so we got another choice? So I'm guessing this is why I was told there are 2 true endings. So okay, we're gonna kiss her then. Unelli, also by the way, this is a really powerful, emotional scene. Goodness gracious. Again, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Like Chu said, we didn't have all the answers yet. Kiss her. I can't hold back any longer. Not at this point. I can't stand to see a painful expression 1 second longer. Even less so considering I'm the cause of it. Sakuya, this is how I truly feel. The weight of time only she can understand. Knowing what she's been through, I don't have the confidence to tell her how I feel. As she said once, the stronger the emotion, the harder it is to express in words. Well, that's why I decided to start over once again. My feelings since then haven't changed. It wasn't our relationship I wanted to reset, but I wanted to ensure you could keep smiling in this town forever. We're the same, Sakuya. I spent so much time with you and was always close by. I never wanted to forget you. And now that I can remember my true feelings, I can finally tell you. I should have told her from the beginning. But men are cowards when it comes to that. I like you. I love you. I have no intention of resetting this timeline ever again. I'm not going anywhere. Never forget you. I gently embrace the trembling girl. Her body feels so small in my arms, it's hard to believe she's been on her own for so long. We can fall in love, like normal. We can still go to school. That's what you truly want, right? She seems frozen in shock, but she hugs me back even tighter, unable to hold back any longer.
私も好きです。愛してます。先輩のこと誰よりも。
She cries out of love like an explosion after being suppressed for so long. Being like this makes me painfully aware of her strength for this whole ordeal.
これ夢じゃ幻じゃないですよね。
No, this is very real. You're not dreaming. This is the final ending we've been fighting to get to for so long. Do you want a hug too? There. And thus, a roundabout confession of love. After enduring countless journeys across multiple timelines, it finally happened.
何幸せな結末。何とやったって送り来ないです。奇跡です。
That's a bit much. All this is because of your hard work. That's right. If she hadn't locked me up in a room, if she hadn't dosed me with Muse, but I'd always been trying to stop the apocalypse from happening even before realizing how she felt about me. But since Geto could never accept that ending, he kept resetting time. Without Sakia's help, this timeline might never have ended, trapping us forever. If I hadn't come here as a teacher, we might never have formed the relationship we did. That alone makes me grateful for being here. The path I chose to take was absolutely necessary because I got to spend time with Sakia and with all of my friends.
先輩。生きてて生まれてよかったです。
Oh, that's good. I told you to stop exaggerating. But that's how strong her feelings for me are, and how long she's held them. You called her feelings for me selfish, but to me, it's an undeniable warmth that I'm grateful for more than anything else. I love the Saki who spent every day with me in her room, and the Saki who went to school with me every day. I love them both. Oh, the igloo.
こうやって
Huh?
ず
Sakia?
っと一緒に過ごしたりはできませんか。
So many lines coming back.
なんて冗談です。何事も永遠に続くことなんてありませんから。
I'll never forget her casually spilling her feelings for me that day. We've lived through so many beginnings and endings, and this reunion shouldn't have even happened. Yet somehow we found each other again. And barring an unforeseen reset, I'll never have to say goodbye ever again. I squeezed Sakia's hand in mine. I want to be with you, Sakia. Forever. I never want to forget you again.
嬉しいです。夢みたいで幻みたいで今にもまた忘れちゃうんじゃって思っちゃいます。
I won't forget. I'm not going away. Not unless you want me to. There's warmth dwelling in her cold, trembling hands. This must be the future we've been chasing. Despite living through the same periods of time while choosing different paths, none of that changes our mutual feelings for each other. Our perfect future that I rejected once. I'm going to get it back. Or rather, I promise to make an even better one for us. I swore to do so. And it's why I'm here. Sakia, don't forget that everyone's watching us. I never forgot. I never forgot for 1 second. Just, like, they're just standing there seeing all this. She enthusiastically leaps into my arms, sobbing hysterically. By the way, does Guido still have the bomb in his hands? Everyone's watching us with concerned looks, still trying to make sense of what's happening. That's funny.
ギドが咲夜の兄で、シュウ君が咲夜の恋人ってこと？
Well, I mean, she is now. I am now. That second part just happened.
先輩好きです。
Meanwhile, Sokka keeps rubbing her face against my chest. He's not in a state of mind to care what others might think.
よくわかんねえけど、シュウが煮え切らない態度だったせいってことでオッケー。
Wow, flip you too, Carrie.
ズバリ OK です。その通りです。
You're okay if it in your timeline, just saying. Come on, I'm not that bad. There's some aspects of one's personality that can't be denied.
ということらしいけど、
Yeah.
ギド。
Yeah, is this kind of still a big problem?
俺もまだあまり事態をつかめていないよ。
Yes. Yes. He looks at me, still holding Sakya. I can see a bit of life in his eyes, albeit faint.
俺の妹君は何か俺に言いたいことがあるらしい。
Oh, was
それにシュウも
that all I had to do? Was kiss your sister? Well, it's gonna be awkward when I go back and make the next choice for Yune then. What are you gonna do then? Right. It's true. I came here to stop you, Guido.
琴葉たちと一緒か。
They're here for the same reason. Stop you from flipping a table. Stop you from flipping a table in anger. You didn't realize that? Bruh, we've been here for like, I don't even know how many hours. You didn't realize? What did you think was happening before?
さっき言っていた赤リンゴというやつの話か。
That's right. Ow, fuck my finger. That's right. You've been turning back time and sending Sakya back with it.
信じるとでも？いや、そういう話ですらないというのか。
Well, it's true. I am. All I wanted to stop you from resetting time. If you don't believe me, that's fine. There's something he needs to hear. Guido's innocent prayer, born from his steadfast and unshakable desire, is too pure to be answered by the miraculous apple.
兄さんはさっき祈ろうとしたはずです。時が戻ればいいって。
なすこと、死ぬことも許されない。なら。
Oh, he was gonna. Okay. I didn't realize that's what he was gonna do. That's right. He did say that. The thing he'd wished for upon realizing the dream he'd envisioned was out of reach. You know better than anyone what that was.
なら、俺が願えばそれが叶うと。
No. Maybe I shouldn't tell him this.
そうです。
It's clear that Guido will always believe his sister over me. I'm still not sure what kind of relationship they've got, but if they've been living the same time loop together, they must have been cooperating in some way.
まあいい。どうも議論したところで抜け道がなさそうだ。それより、
Yes, Guido?
結局お前たちは俺にどうしてほしいと言うんだ。
Just put the bomb down and go to bed.
元の兄さんに戻ってください。そして生きてください。これからもずっと。
無理な話だ。今の俺はただのトガ人。この場で死ぬしか、柊義堂という人間が美しく昇華される方法はない。
Guido, I'm about to just slap that bomb out of your hand.
兄さんはバカです。自分で視野を狭めてばかり。
昨夜、俺に任せてくれると言ったあれは嘘だったのか。
兄さんの頑固さに呆れてしぶしぶですよ。私が折れなかったら何度でもやり直されるから。
Taka knew that as long as she fought back against her brother's vision of the apocalypse, time could never return to normal. That's why it was so important to make it seem like she was helping him.
それにさっきも言った通り、私は兄さんが死ぬだなんて話は聞いていません。絶対に嫌です。
俺も昨夜を殺したくはない。だから離れろと言っている。
嫌です。
Sakya, honestly, at this point, do the good old misdeed of Brock where you just pinch his ear and drag him away, please. Just saying. He's far more uncompromising when talking to Sakya than he is with me. Is it narrow-minded of me to feel slightly jealous seeing that so close? Well, I mean, she's a sister, so...
頑固な妹だ。
それはこっちのセリフです。兄さんより頑固な人なんていません。こういう関係だったのか？
昨夜がズバズバ物を言うのは前からだけど、いつもと違うね。
琴葉先輩と綺麗先輩に説得されて、もうやめるってさっきは言ってたじゃないですか。
そうだな。だがそのせいで俺は消えない罪を背負った。この町ごと破壊し皆殺しにしようとした殺人犯だ。そんな男は死ぬべきだと思わないか。
Thank you, Sakia. You said that like 5 times, Guido. The dry sound echoes loudly through the snowy sky. Sakia, her eyes red and puffy of tears, slapped her brother, the mark left by her hand standing out in clear relief on his left cheek. She's never acted this way before. I get the feeling that there's no other timeline when she slapped her own brother.
兄さんの言う美しさって何ですか？死ぬことですか？壊すことですか？兄さんの美学はそんなにネガティブなものでしたか？
怖い。知る者にしか見出せない美だ。俺はそれを愛していた。
Slap him again.
でも昔の兄さんは違いましたよ。美術回廊で作品を見て真似したり工夫したり、そりゃ兄さんですからバカなこともしてましたけど、たくさん。私はそんな兄さんが好きでした。琴葉先輩たちも一緒のはずです。誰かに入れ知恵されたからって兄さんが変わる必要なんてない。凛花さんに嫉妬してたのなら自分でそれを上回る作品を考えられたはずなんです。それが本当の自分の限界を破壊するってことなんじゃないですか。凛花さんがこれまでにない作品を作ったみたいに。兄さんの見た失楽園がどれだけ素晴らしい作品だったのか私には分かりません。でもそれを真似してより大きな作品にしたところですでにある美しさしか生まれないんじゃないですか。
Rose's Lost Paradise is a painting of the accident that destroyed the first town. Just like how man-made snow can never look entirely real, attempts to artificially recreate chance events will always contain irregularities.
わかった。もういい。琴葉にも切り絵にも説教されて耳にタコができそうだ。
Do you though? Because you keep saying that thing.
俺はもうアポカリプスを諦めている。大罪を犯したと自覚している。だから。
Guido, what did I just say?
だから逃げようとするんですか？卑怯ですよ、そんなの。それに兄さんらしくなさすぎます。
He'd rather die than live with his failure. Sakura cries this choice of his as nothing more than running away.
兄さん、それなら私はまだ時を戻してやり直したいって願う方が兄さんらしいと思ったから犠牲者を出さないようにって協力してたんです。でも本当は昔みたいに誰にも応援されなくても頑張る兄さんが見たかったんです。
昨夜。
いいじゃないですか。美しくなくても兄さんの作る作品が美しければいいのであって兄さん自身が美しく散る必要なんてどこにもありません。
Even someone like Guido, one of the oldest people here, can do nothing but stare blankly at the ground while being chastised by his own sister. To Sakia, the thought of her brother committing suicide is her biggest trigger of all. It's far more than just giving up and escaping. No matter how abhorrent his cataclysmic vision might have been, as long as he continued creating art, he could follow his dream of being an artist. Despite her love for him, seeing her brother in this state is simply too much. And yet, no matter how fed up with him she may be, she can't bring herself to abandon her own brother in his time of need. Oh.
ギド、私も昨夜と同じだよ。
だが俺は
取り返しのつかないことをした。確かにそうだよ。でもだからって君のデーモンは生きるのを諦めるようなやつだった？罪を背負い生き続けること、それが君にとって唯一の許される道なんじゃないのかな。
このまま生きろと。
君が死んだらもう誰も君のことを許さないだろう。でも君がこれから先償い続けるというのなら いずれ許される時が来るのかもしれない。
償うか。俺としてはそれが許される域でもないと思っているのだがな。
そうだね。確かに君はいくら謝っても奉仕しても許されるはずはないと思う。でもギド、君には決して他の人にはできないやり方があるだろう。
An unforgivable sin. A possible way to atone for such a cross that cannot be borne by one man alone.
君がもし犯した罪を、その懺悔を作品で表現できるなら、それはきっと何よりの償いになるはずだ。遠い道のりかもしれない。だけど私は君にならできるって信じてる。私の知ってる義道なら、たとえどんなに重い罪でも。
The guilt that sprouted within him. Hoofda wants him to use that as inspiration for his work. I think that's the only way Guido could ever atone for his sins. But it's also the cruelest form of punishment.
だから作り続けるんだ、君は。この町のみんなが許すまで何年かかっても。
俺の罪を表現しろと。
そうだよ。君の反省を、そして贖いをはっきりと形にして伝えるんだ。義道はそれができる人間なんだから。
She's not specific of what she wants him to do, providing form to shapeless concepts, so perhaps a potentially eternal journey to repentance. According to Kota, all he can do is carry his cross as he walks his endless path.
それにほら、昨夜だってもう腹を決めているようだし。
Guido isn't the only one who's taking Kota's words to heart. The girl standing next to him is also burdened with guilt she cannot escape from.
もちろん私も兄さんに加担した身として許される存在ではありません。私も私なりに贖罪のやり方を見つけます。
なんでお前まで。
当たり前じゃないですか。ダメ兄さんに肩入れしたダメ妹なんて許されるはずないに決まってます。兄さんと同じトガ人なんです。
Sakura did what she did to save the townspeople while appeasing her brother. Still, the fact that she was involved at all makes her feel incredibly guilty.
でもですよ、私はもうやり直したいなんてこれっぽっちも思っていません。好きな人と結ばれて、私の気持ちは今とても満たされています。これをなくそうなんて言うのは兄さんでも許せません。
After carrying a cross all by herself for so long, she finally has the future she always hoped for. Me and Sakia, ever since the instant our paths crossed for the first time. After hearing such honest emotions from his closest friend and his sister.
これは参った。ああ、本当に。
I like how you're laughing about this, Guido. Goodness gracious. Guido's only burst into peals of laughter.
自分がいかに身の程知らずか、そしてかっこ悪いかを思い知らされた。それでもなお生きろと言うんだな。
当たり前です。かっこ悪い自分を自覚して生きるから罰なんですよ。人様に迷惑かけてから満足げに行くとかありえません。まったくだよ。人前で脱ぐのは平気なくせに、今さら美しく散ろうなんて勝手すぎ。
ああ、悪かった。俺は今までもこれからも美しくなんてある必要はない。そして俺はまた表現すべきものができた。
Yes. Is
ど
this?
うも罪深き己にこんな幸福があっていいのか。
Yeah. So is this gonna take a lot of convincing for you too?
同輩にも後輩にも妹にも叱ってもらえる俺は果報者なのかもしれないな。それだけに特級の愚か者だが。
Because I'm not gonna lie, honestly, if I was in Chu's position, and he asked me this, and this was gonna be just as hard to convince him, I might have to say no. Just saying I'm sorry. I would have been tired at this point. I'm like, man, it's like 11 p.m. Still haven't said happy birthday to Yune yet. Like, I would have had to say no eventually. It was gonna be just as hard to convince him about this too.
やっと目覚めたか。つか、なんで昨夜にはそんな素直なんだよ。
Carrie speaking facts, straight facts right here, Carrie. Goodness gracious.
仕方ないよ、ピリエ。兄弟だもの。
いや、つうかそれ未だに信じらんねえんだけど。
That's fine.
全然似てねえし。
Happens sometimes.
そうだろうか。性格なんかは似てるんじゃないか。
似てるはずありません。いきなり食堂で脱ぎ出すような兄に憧れる要素ゼロです。
He's pretty harsh. Although Gato has no problem picking on his own flaws.
シュウ、キリエ、コトハ。この場だけで済ませられるものではないが、本当に悪かった。そしてありがとう。俺はこれからも食材を続けていく。だからお前たちにはそばで見守っていてほしい。シュウと昨夜の言う時を巡る存在とやらは未だによくわからないから後で説明はしてもらいたいが。
Did you never watch that movie? Of course, but it's basically just what I told you before. I'm worried that the more honest I am with the whole situation, the more ridiculous it might sound. Alright, so yeah, at least we settled the Gato stuff. I don't know what's happening next, but I'm stopping it there. Because I don't know what's gonna go on next. Goodness gracious, the game doesn't want to calm down still. Yeah, so we solved the whole Gato stuff at least. Like Carrie said, we finally got through his thick skull. That is the thickest skull I've ever seen in my life. Like, straight up, I don't think... Like, I'd have to think about it. There might be some characters, but he is like top 5. Because, oh my jeez, Gato, please. Brunelli. But yeah, we also learned even more about, like, the year that we forgot, where Sakia kept us locked in a room and kept drugging us with Muse over that whole time period. And learned quite a bit more about Sakia as well. And then, yeah, we kissed her. So, it was so funny, because, like, that whole time they were just, like, talking to each other alone, and then Kiri, Kota, and Gita were just there watching them. Like, yeah, I never forgot once. So yeah, that's pretty funny how they just stood there the whole time. But yeah, we also got that really nice, again, powerful, super emotional scene that I liked a lot when they played Amazing Grace, the title song. I heard vocals, and I was like, about to be like, oh, what song is this? I realized it was, oh, Amazing Grace. And I don't know why I got surprised that Amazing Grace is a part of the OST. I didn't even think about that until now, but yeah, I was surprised that Amazing Grace was in it. Makes sense. Makes sense. But yeah, again though, it's still Yune's birthday, so can we say happy birthday to her, please? Just saying.